You know that feeling, right? Anxiety. That knot in your stomach, your thoughts just racing a mile a minute. We're always told to just get rid of it, to fight it off. But what if that's completely the wrong way to think about it? Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful, honestly game-changing idea from the existential psychologist Rollo that might just flip your whole understanding of anxiety on its head.
But to really get this, we're not going to start with some dry theory. No, we're going to start with a person. Let's meet a guy named Philip. His story perfectly, and I mean perfectly, illustrates the kind of anxiety that can leave us feeling totally and utterly trapped.
And that's really the heart of it for Philip. He was just stuck. He was in a situation that was causing him so much pain day in and day out, and yet he was completely unable to do anything about it. He was just frozen.
So here's the deal with Philip. He was in this relationship with Nicole, and her behavior was all over the place, and it was really hurting him. But instead of walking away, he felt this crushing sense of duty, like he had to take care of her. And that obligation just trapped him in this vicious cycle, where everything he did just ended up making things worse for himself.
Philip's story probably sounds a little familiar, doesn't it? That feeling of being totally cornered by your own anxiety. Okay, so hold that thought, because now we're going to pivot to an idea that turns this whole problem inside out.
This is the huge question Rollo is asking us to think about. I mean, we spend so much time and energy trying to stamp out anxiety, right? But what if it's not some monster we need to slay? What if it's actually a message we need to listen to?
And here is May's incredible insight. You literally cannot have freedom without anxiety. They are completely, inextricably linked. The very fact that you have choices, that you are free to act, is what creates the feeling of anxiety. They're basically two sides of the very same coin.
May loved this quote from the philosopher Kierkegaard, and it's easy to see why. Just imagine you're standing on the edge of a cliff. You have the freedom to jump, right? And just knowing you could, that potential, that choice, it makes you feel kind of dizzy. That feeling is anxiety. It's what happens when you come face to face with your own freedom and potential.
And this brings us to May's most powerful idea of all. He said, look, if we just call everything anxiety, we're missing the whole point. He believed there are two completely different types of anxiety, and telling them apart is everything.
So first, let's just get on the same page with the basic definition. For May, anxiety is that gut-level feeling you get when you realize that your very existence, could be wiped out, or that something you hold absolutely essential to who you are is under threat. It's that confrontation with the possibility of nothingness.
And boom, here it is. This is the absolute heart of his idea. On one side, you've got normal anxiety. Think of this as a reasonable, conscious, and even helpful response to life's challenges. But on the other side, you have neurotic anxiety. This is the overblown, repressed, paralyzing stuff. So let's break these two down.
Okay, so let's dig into this first one. This is the kind of anxiety that isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's a sign that you're actually alive and growing.
The key word here is proportionate. You know, if you have to give a huge presentation at work, yeah, you're going to feel anxious. That's normal. It's a feeling you can look right in the eye, understand, and even use to sharpen your focus. It's actually constructive. And just think about it. Every single time you grow in life, maybe you switch careers, or you challenge a belief you've held forever, or you have this sudden creative breakthrough, you feel this anxiety. May said that all real growth involves this anxious feeling of surrendering old values. It's the feeling of expanding, of becoming a bigger version of yourself. In this example, wow, it just shows you the scale of normal anxiety. The scientists who watched that first atomic bomb go off, they weren't just having a panic attack. They were having this profound, conscious, and deeply anxious realization that a fundamental value, the safety of the world as they knew it, had just been changed forever. Okay, so if that's normal anxiety, what's this other kind? Let's talk about that destructive, looping anxiety that had our friend Philip totally tied in knots. Now focus on these words, disproportionate and blocking off. This is the anxiety that's just way out of whack with the actual situation. It comes from some inner conflict that we deal with by just shutting down, by putting on blinders and refusing to see our real options. Let's bring this right back to Philip. The reason he was paralyzed wasn't a rational response to Nicole. No, it was a symptom of something much deeper, something from his past that he was subconsciously repressing and blocking himself from seeing. And here we find the source.
Philip's anxiety wasn't really about Nicole at all. It was a ghost from his childhood. He grew up learning this script that said, "My job is to find unpredictable women and save them." So his relationship with Nicole wasn't new. It was just a replay of that old, painful movie from his childhood.
And that's the trap of neurotic anxiety. This old, ingrained pattern literally blocked him from seeing any other way to live. He couldn't grow or change because he was stuck in this self-defeating loop. And the only way he could manage it was by blocking off any awareness that another path was even possible.
Okay, so we've seen the two faces of anxiety. One is a compass pointing toward growth, and the other is a cage that keeps us stuck. So what does this all mean for you and me?
When it all boils down, this is the choice we face. When something threatens us, do we confront it? Do we look it in the eye? That's the path of normal anxiety, and it leads to growth and change. Or do we repress it and pretend it's not there? Well, that's the path of neurotic anxiety, and that only leads to stagnation and feeling stuck.
And this, right here, is the big takeaway. The goal is not to live a life with zero anxiety. According to May, that would be a pretty boring, stagnant life with no freedom or growth. The real work, the important work, is to face those neurotic patterns, to turn that paralyzing, stuck energy into the conscious, constructive anxiety that actually helps us become who we're meant to be.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. The next time you feel that familiar pang of anxiety, just pause and ask yourself, is this the dizziness of freedom? Is this a signal that I'm on the verge of something new? Or is this the chain of an old pattern holding me back? Is this the price of growth? And if it is, what incredible new part of yourself are you about to pay for?